amazing Claire Evans. And thank you for all your feedback. And thank you, Claire, for answering so many questions on Wednesday on our live there. It was wonderful of you to get back to everybody, and it's made it really personal. Now, before we go any further, for some unknown reason, occasionally Claire dips out and dips back in because she can't hear me. The rest of you can hear me, but Claire can't. So I just want to pre-warn people that that may happen, like now. So 1 minute she's with me and then she's gone. So that seems to be the way. That seems to be the way of it for us for this afternoon. So for our chat this afternoon, we were really wanting to look at, a lot of you ladies I know are beating yourselves up about what you haven't done in a day, and instead of looking at what you could do for a day. So before I disappear out of volume again, I'm going to hand over to Claire right now to explain a little bit more, please. Claire, what are we doing?
Thank you very much. Well, many people are contacting me and saying, I just don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job. The rules have changed. We don't know the rules now to life, to our routine, to our structure, to caring for our family, caring for our children, because COVID's just completely tipped everything upside down. I don't know if I'm doing a good job. So there's a great amount of uncertainty there about, are we doing a good job? But what does that actually mean? Are we doing a good job? Good job to who? To our family, yes, but by who's measuring that? Whose rules are we living and working by? Often it's our own, which is fueled by our own self-doubt and lack of confidence. We're worried that we'll be judged, that people will kind of view what we're doing in a bad light. We're worried that the children aren't getting what they need from us right at this moment. But, they are. But it's just our own self-doubt and lack of confidence coming in because we're stepping into roles that we're unclear about. And a massive example of that is the role of being a teacher. We're having to homeschool our children. That's a really, really hard job. We've not done training. We've not done years at university to become a teacher. Deep down, we connect with our children's homework, but we worry. A lot of people are coming back to me and saying, I'm worried I don't know enough to be able to teach my children. I'm not a teacher. I don't know where my children should be. And, the rules of bringing structure in the day, like school, with the, kind of like teaching and then break and all that structure. It's another added massive layer that's already on a very difficult world for our parents, for us as parents. So homeschooling is causing us a lot of anxiety. We've got fear about getting it wrong, but what's the worst that can happen? What's the fear here? How can we damage our children by trying to teach them a little bit? And I know teachers are going to be teaching them at a much higher level when they go to school. But surely if we're just doing our best, that's enough. But a lot of people are coming back saying, I don't know the rules to this. I'm scared I'll get it wrong. And if the children go back to school when all this is over and they're not at a high enough standard or they've not done enough homework, what does this mean for me as a parent? This will look bad on me. So I think what fuels our anxiety often is the fear of getting it wrong and being judged. But we're stepping into the unknown here. It's so hard.
It is, isn't it? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, it is. And I think different people like to work the whole homeschooling in different ways, don't they, Claire? And so some people's minds work along a timetable. And but inevitably, if a teacher is doing homeschool, if a teacher is schooling your child, they've got their attention 100%.
Yeah.
But in our homes, we're multitasking the whole time, aren't we?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, your child will say, because you've encouraged them as a parent to appreciate, love and appreciate their teachers and say thank you at the end of the day. Homeschooling is a pretty thankless task. All you get is, we've got to do what? What? And you can make it all fun to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, maths is maths. And I know there's a lot of epic teachers out there who can make maths fun. For us parents at home with pen and paper, it's not that much fun. And we're just trying to do the best that we can do. And I think teaching your children how to communicate with each other, and us being appreciated for what we do in a day, it's not going to happen, is it? It's not like being in a work scenario where your boss might have said, well done, or you got a bonus for hitting a target, or you're dealing with customers every day who say thank you. Can be quite a lonely place, can't it?
Yeah, and you don't have the same respect from the children. Well, you do. It's a different kind of respect. Like the disciplines there, children going to school, they know the routine, they know the structure, they have to get down, get on with the work, they have to do it. But as a parent, they're going to be back chatting the motivation, because it's a very different situation. The motivation isn't going to be there. You'll get the moans and groans, which they wouldn't even do in school. They wouldn't dare. Well, they might do, but they've got a fear of consequences because there's that discipline in school. Whereas at home, there's so much fun stuff to be doing, especially in your house, Kate, with your chickens. There's far too much fun stuff to be doing, and it is a very relaxed world that we're living in at the moment. They're seeing, us as parents working from home. So children's attitude towards schooling isn't what it used to be when they were in school. It's like, well, you're working from home and, you've got a very really relaxed approach about things at the moment. And so it's not the same structure and support. So their motivation to engage in school work isn't going to be as strong as it is at school, which puts pressure on parents, because some parents, and tell us if this is you, some parents are having a battle trying to get children off the PS4 or the Xbox or whatever to try and get them into schoolwork. So we've got that layer of battle before we start, and then our own self-doubt creeps in, our own kind of fears that, I've got to teach him maths today. Well, I wasn't great at maths. How do I know I'm at the right level? How do I know I'm doing enough? Because as parents, we want the best for our children and we really want to push them in a direction, but our own self-doubt comes in. And ladies and gentlemen, it's very much about where you're at, where your confidence is, where your self-esteem is about yourself, because we fear negative appraisal from others. And I don't know about you, a lot of people have been saying to me, what if my children go back to school and they're not at the right level? That'll look bad on me.
Yes.
Oh.
Can you hear me? So Claire's had to leave us. And yes, can I just take this opportunity to say hi to Debbie, Angela, and Debbie, yes, every day he has no motivation. And this is an ongoing thing, isn't it? And we're trying to do the best that we can by our children and by our partners. And we are also trying to keep the household fed.
Yeah.
Keep the household fed in a healthy way. It's also a lot more labor intensive because your cupboards are full of different things to what they used to be. The easier option for a lot of parents, for teenagers, parents of teenagers in particular, is to allow them to game till late at night, they sleep till half the day. And but it's natural. It's whatever your family has got to do to come through the other side of this as a unit.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
And I agree with that to a certain extent, but just be really careful, because if we let discipline go in our own homes, it'll be very hard to pull that back. So I think when it comes to kind of like, rules and discipline at home, always carry on as you mean to go on, because I'm hearing children and hearing from parents where they've let those rules just slip a little bit and they've got a very relaxed approach. Yes, okay, it's been Easter holidays, so children shouldn't or maybe haven't been doing schoolwork over the last couple of weeks. But, you know, if you let things, you know, if you let the amount of time on the gaming lift, you've got to pull that back at some point. So just be aware of that. It's easy at the moment. And nothing I ever say is criticism whatsoever. We're all fighting and doing the best we can. But it's just a word of warning. Just be really careful because, you know, if you lapse rules about how many hours gaming, you know, it's worth having the battles now a little bit than it is further down the line when you're trying to rein it back. Because when children are going back to school, when I say children, I mean teenagers as well, you know, I mean all across the ages, school ages, it's going to be hard enough getting them to reintegrate into school. So then if we're having battles about, you know, cutting time back on gaming and trying to encourage them to go outdoors more and things like that, it's going to be really hard to pull that back in line with everything else they're facing with reintegrating back into their world.
Yes, yes. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, Claire, because that's something that Claire and I are working on right now, is bringing you a program, parents, of how you can look after the your children and how you can support your children from an emotional point of view, how you can keep your children emotionally safe. So Claire and I are working on a program which will consist of videos and fantastic modular notes that Claire's working on right now. We're trying to turn that around as quickly as we possibly can. And working alongside that is going to be a support group where you pay like a minimal amount. We're talking like $4.99 a month to come into this support group, this closed Facebook community where I'm going to bring in guest speakers as teachers. I'm going to bring in guests from the community all on Be Live to be able to give you more insight into what expectations are of parents. I mean, I think that is one of the biggest things is we don't know what everybody else is doing. Look, social media, it's like looking at the beach body on social media, isn't it? How much is that is stage? How much is actually going on? Everybody falls out over their cornflakes when you go, right, it's time to do homework. Not a single child on the planet is going to go, oh great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do that. and it's not because we're doing anything bad. It's just the way things are, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, when we're dealing with our own lack of confidence, it's natural. I'm not saying that's not natural. A couple of questions to ask ourselves and actually write down on paper, you know, what do you fear that you'll get wrong or that'll go wrong? What do you fear that you're not doing as a parent right now? And how much harm can you actually do? You know, I was terrible at maths. If you saw my bank account, you'd know I'm terrible at maths. You know, so when I come to teach children about maths, it's not my strongest subject. I'm not going to be great about that. Anything emotion and psychology and to do with the mind, I'll ace that. I'll definitely ace that. But anything to do with maths, no. So write down, you know, accept and embrace the fact that you're not going to be perfect at every subject. You're not teachers, we're parents, you know. So just write down, what do you fear will go wrong and what harm can you actually do? Because often we connect with our thoughts and feelings, but we don't understand what's driving it. And in psychology, it's about looking at the drivers behind it. And when it comes to anxiety, it's often a fear. Well, it's always a fear that we're not going to perform, that we're not doing good, and also a fear of uncertainty. And boy, have we got uncertainty in this world. So write those questions down, but answer them. And then when you're feeling a bit of self-doubt, go back to those questions, you know, well, what do I fear will go wrong? And actually, how much harm can I do? You know, we're talking a few weeks, that's all. It's just another big summer holidays. And your child doesn't slip back academically in the summer holidays. So it's just the same thing. It's going to be fine. And you guys are doing an amazing job.
Yes, absolutely. And can I please encourage anybody who is watching now, who is watching this on catch up, please, first of all, tell us if you're watching this on catch up, because I know it's a beautiful sunny day. I appreciate it's a beautiful sunny day. And so people are going to be outside, I hope, if at all possible. So we're not going to have as many people watching live. So watching this on catch up, please comment now, because your comments do nothing but help other people's confidence. Please let us know, what is your fear right now? And what can you get wrong? What do you think could go wrong? And what do you think you're doing right? What really fizzes you off that you do not get appreciation for on a daily basis? Because we all have something that the rest of the household does not appreciate you for doing it. Sorry, Claire keeps flicking in and out, but it's because you can't hear what I'm saying. So hi. So I can bring Claire in quickly to say, so when we're talking about appreciation, it's us appreciating what we're doing.
Yes.
And other people, if we're sharing our house, or other people as friends, other people online. Yeah. What would you say, Claire?
Well, when it comes to gratitude around the house, everybody just expects us to do what we're doing, what we've always done. So, like children, have you noticed this? Children are so appreciative of teachers and everything. You know, they're gushing with praise and thanks to teachers. And they come home and they just expect food to be on the table. And now they're expecting us to just homeschool them. So when it comes to gratitude, we have to kind of prompt them, don't we? Did you like that tea? You know, maybe give me something back, please. Please give me something back. Did you enjoy it? Was it okay? And we have to ask leading questions, because children just down the tea and then bez off to the bedrooms or wherever. Gratitude isn't always given in the home. So I think it's really important to try and encourage that. Especially now, because we need to hear that gratitude more than ever. We need to be appreciated, because our roles are just so up in the air. You know, the uncertainty is just all over the place. Going back to our previous points, when we were talking about what do you fear that you'll get wrong, and actually how much harm can you do, what's really useful is to look at a benchmark to judge ourselves on, so to speak, because we are our own worst critics, aren't we? So it's about looking at actually what's realistic here. Because when we're feeling anxious or a bit, you know, out of control about things, our mind and our thought processes take us to catastrophic levels of thinking. So we lose that balance that we need to appropriately appraise things. So really good technique, and this is something I've been doing, is write a list, as well as, you know, recognizing what you fear will go on, recognizing the fear factors of what you think will go wrong, how much harm you can actually do. Actually write a list of what you want to achieve. So then it's easier to look at that list and say, oh, I am achieving. I've achieved that. I've achieved that. I've achieved that. So a big catchphrase of mine as you're beginning to pick up now is own it. Own that. Own it. So what do I want to achieve? And then you'll find that when you write all those things down, you actually are achieving, because we have magical thinking, don't we? Oh, yes, I want to achieve. When my children go back to school, I want them to continue being in top sets and all that. But we don't kind of levy our achieve what we want to achieve with the circumstances that we're currently in. So it's about realigning things at the moment. So from a day to day, so tomorrow, what do you hope to achieve? What do you think it's important to achieve for yourself, for your family? If you're living on your own, what do you want to achieve? Like on my list today, it was to go for a walk and ring, you know, my dad and connect with a couple of friends. Tick, tick, tick. It's really important to write things down and tick them off.
Yes, that's brilliant advice, Claire, because we need to, you would do that on a to-do list in your work environment.
Yeah.
And now our roles and responsibilities have changed so much and increased so much, it can get so overwhelming. And it's all in the confines of our four walls, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so to have, to think, right, okay, the big things I want to achieve tomorrow, like for me tomorrow, I have got to try and magic up a twin 9-year-old birthday that they will never forget, that's comparable to the one that we had planned 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Without the invite list, without the actual where we were going to be going, without the big bouncy castle area that we were going to be going to. But you know what? I've stripped it right back. And at the end of the day, they are going to be happy, smiling, the center of our attention for the full day. And if I really strip it back, what I was intending to do of going away to the loft for a party where they've got a big crazy bouncy castle area type place for them and their friends to go, where I would have just watched them on it. I wouldn't have actually participated with them. I would have been chatting to the mums, then I would have been doing the food, then you would organise presents, and you'd come home and you'd do the presents, and I'd be probably doing something in the kitchen while they were opening up their presents.
Yep.
Now you've actually got time to breathe and appreciate. And like Debbie, one of somebody who's watching us, said, I'm actually quite grateful everything isn't so rushed.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, with those twins, honestly, I'm going to have it written on my grave. Will you please put your shoes on? Will you? Can you get in the car?
Have you got your
it's
PE kit? Have you got that?
My morning mantra is, I am not going to lose my head before we get in the car for school. Come on, Kate, you can do it. You can do it. You've been up since 5:30. You've taught Kate's Club. You've done everything else. You cannot lose the plot just because they're their inability to get their crap together and in the car when you say.
But Kate, do you know tomorrow what would be really interesting? Because when you're looking at gratitude, I think, we try and get a lot of gratitude from children to reinforce that we're doing a good job as a parent. So your children tomorrow will be looking at, their thoughts might be oh, well, we haven't got a bouncing castle. Oh, we haven't got this, we haven't got that, we haven't got all our friends. So how do you think you could get them to have gratitude for what you've actually done? Because what we're doing is realigning children's gratitude right back to basics. Yes, you haven't got the most amazing holiday, but look, we've got the back garden out there, and we've got love, and we've got this. So how do you, I'm putting you on the spot now, how do you intend to measure gratitude with your children? What do you intend to do?
I intend. Oh dear. Oh, there's me in the limelight, on the spotlight here, girl. Slightly which doesn't happen very often. So yeah, how will I get them with the gratitude? Well, because there's some very thoughtful friends who have done some lovely things for them. Okay. And so I think by the time we've shown our gratitude to them, and we've FaceTimed and said thank you to them, and then I'll encourage them to show gratitude to their dad when he does their barbecue for them, and Lee'll encourage back for them to do it for me, for the different thoughtful things that we're doing. So what we've done tomorrow is we've got lots of little activities that I know they love that they don't get to do very often anymore, like the bubbles, like the trampoline. So I've got Big Brother is blowing up 40 balloons to have on the trampoline. When do you get time to do that stuff? I love that. And so it's thinking outside of the box with what you've got.
Yep.
And even having that thought process, that time to go, let me remember what really makes them happy in a non-plastic, non-virtual, we're here and now in the back garden world.
So maybe ask them, just say, so we've had a fantastic day. Have you enjoyed it? And they're definitely going to say yes. So tell me, what top 3 things did you enjoy about today, and why? And it's like bringing them back to appreciating, what they've had. Yeah, the wonderful party that costs a fortune, the bouncy castle and everything that the presents and everything. But if you strip them back down to gratitude around the smallest of things, because that's all we've got now. That's what we've got now. And so and children, deep down are so grateful just to spend time with parents, just to feel safe. And as parents, when you're looking at, doing a good job, you're keeping your children safe. And that should be at the top of your list of things that you're doing every day. I'm juggling so many balls, spinning so many plates, but I'm trying to keep us safe. And I know I keep saying this, and people are like, really? But I think there's some good to come out of COVID. And everybody's like, oh, really? But yeah, we're learning new things. Children are stripping back down away from all the materialistic world and everything that they're driven by. I'm not saying that's a sweeping generalization, but often
Yes.
that's what it is. You know, I want £150 Nike Air trainers. Well, now you can't because we can't get them. And so by teaching them to appreciate the smaller things like blowing of bubbles, that was an amazing thing to do when we were
Yeah.
kids. And your
Yeah.
children, you're stripping them right back down to basics. And so children are getting, their level of gratitude's changing, their, pleasure from things at the moment's coming right back down to basics. And I think that's a really good thing. And it's cheaper. It's
Yes.
cheaper for us as parents.
Yes. And somebody said to me the other day, actually, that it was wonderful to see their child sat in the window looking,
Yep.
listening to the birds,
Yep.
and just looking at the garden and at life, and
Yep.
just having the space, the time, and the tranquility to
Yep.
do that. Because when I think in normal daily lives, they have this, they have the radio, they have us, they have school, they have it's a noisy place, isn't it?
Oh, we
And
said that today.
yeah, and to strip that back and go, and it's wonderful where we live. There's walks all around us, which, to be honest, we very rarely see a lot of people out there. And they've built a lovely new cycle track at the back of here. It wasn't used that much at all. Yet now we see so many families out there. We see so many families out there walking around, and I just hope that people will keep that as their habit, because it's not the same as what you might have done on a Saturday afternoon. Claire's getting frustrated. She can't hear me. It's not maybe the same as when you would have gone, right, kids, we're getting in the car, take the bikes, do whatever. We're off to the beach, as we would do here. We're off to the beach, and it's a 3-hour activity. It's a 3-hour activity, and now you go off your walk, and it only takes half an hour, and you're back in the same space again. But I think, yeah, it's really, really lovely, and I really hope that people start to embrace that. So we've got some feedback here. Kate Upston, lovely to see you. Oh, a list writer and tasks to do in that week. Yeah, love it, love it. Oh, Leslie Ann, thank you. Yeah, and thank you for your thoughtfulness tomorrow. I don't doubt for a minute the twins are going to have a fabulous time. But yeah, Janine, having children appreciate what they have at this moment in time: the garden, the toys, the books, the love. It's a real biggie. And I feel really sorry for friends of theirs who are in flats right now. People who are in flats right now, that's a really tricky place to be. One of my granddaughters is in Manchester city centre in a flat, and so yeah, it's made my stepdaughter Janine look at where she wants to be with her life for the future, and how important a garden would be to her instead of a city centre flat. Oh, sorry, Claire, I feel your frustration. She can't hear me. So I'm not sure. I think it might be because of the amount of people on Be Live at the moment. So in conclusion, Claire.
I'm back. So,
hey, perfect timing for the conclusion.
It's hard enough being live and remembering what to say without dipping in and out. So sorry, guys.
You're doing an amazing job.
How to make it hard for me. So in conclusion, keep checking in with your children. We need gratitude, and it's okay to go and look for it. So say, at the end of the day, what's the 3 most important things we've done today that you've enjoyed? Like you were saying, today in my house, would usually be in a trampoline, them horrible places. It's full of noise, and we won't be interacting. We'd just be on the table, hating every minute, drinking a coffee. But today we've actually been for a walk, and we played I Spy. I mean, I forgot how much fun I Spy was. So, you know, yeah, looking at the small bits, the small levels of achievement and pleasure that children are getting now. But as parents, or as if you don't have children, as individuals, look at what you're achieving every day, because in today's society with COVID, it's hard to see the achievements because our lives change so much. But there are a lot of achievements. We're staying safe. We're doing the best we can. Do your little list about what you fear will go wrong. How much harm can you actually do? And when you answer that question, it'll be not much. I can't do much harm. I'm doing my best. It's fine. Don't be your own self, biggest critic. If you find you're thinking, go into that, oh, I'm not. Do a list of that illustrates you're doing a good job. Try not to lose balance of your thoughts. Try not to go to catastrophizing, looking in the future at the worst things. When my children get back to school, they won't be at a level. Don't worry about that. Look at the here and now. In the here and now, we're all keeping safe and we're all doing a good job.
Oh, thank you, Claire. That's and friends, followers, parents, singles out there, I hope you really hear that message loud and clear from Claire and I. We are all doing a fabulous job. The fact that you've taken time to watch this means that you want to be doing the best that you can do. And the best that you can do right now is to stay confident in yourself, in your ability to do the best that you can do in this ever-changing world. And provided you're coming at it from a place of love, then I don't see that much else can go wrong. So thank you so much for your time, Claire. And
Pleasure.
we are looking at coming back to you guys on Wednesday night. And on Wednesday night, we decided we would be talking about you remember that? It's gone poof out of my brain. Yeah, just watch this space, guys. We've got amazing stuff coming to you that sounded really good when we were talking about it in our back gardens this morning. It was sensational. Okay, Claire can't hear me anymore. So thank you guys to everybody, and we shall see you again on Wednesday. Wednesday will be later on in the evening again, and because, just to remind you, the wonderful Claire is also working for the NHS full-time as well, and so we really appreciate that Claire fits the crannies of her life. And so Wednesday evening is the next time that we'll be coming to you. And please share with us what your thoughts are. Please share your thoughts. Please share your comments. Let us know you're watching this on catch up, and ask any questions that you have. And Claire did an amazing job of getting back to people on Wednesday who asked questions here in the comments underneath. So until we see you on Wednesday, you'll probably see me before then, but you won't see Claire till Wednesday. Thank you so much. Enjoy the sunshine. Look at how you're going to stay safe and keep your family's emotions safe and your emotions safe. So bye-bye from us. Bye, Claire.
Bye.
Thank you.